Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I'm here in Dergun Town instead of Ponytown telling you guys about some things that I just absolutely despise or just hate about Dergun Town. I did a video like this a while back about a handful of things that I hate about Ponytown, and in that video I teased that I was going to do the same for Dergun Town and eventually compare the two in a separate video. Today I'm going to be talking about things that I hate about Dergun Town, and eventually we will try to compare the two, and I will give my final opinions and review on both. But for now, we're just going to talk about Dergun Town and some things that I hate about it, because there's actually a lot of things that I hate about Dergun Town that just isn't an issue in Ponytown. Now, just because some of these things aren't an issue in Ponytown doesn't mean that Ponytown is automatically better than Dergun Town. Some of these issues can only happen in Dergun Town because Dergun Town has some features that Ponytown does not. But with that said, let's move on to number one. The first thing, these are going to be in no particular order, by the way. I just listed 7 things on here, just randomly as the days went on. I just wrote things that I disliked about the game. But anyway, number one is collecting is not really collecting. You don't actually collect anything. Dergun Town has a lot of like collecting aspects and everything like that, where you can collect different unique items and everything like that. You can either get them from completing quests, or you can find them naturally spawning on the ground, which is kind of cool. Collecting is not actually collecting. Collecting is you have to pick up an item, go all the way to your party house, all the way to your party island, which is all the way on the other side of the map at some cases, put it in your party house, save your party house, and then leave. And then you can collect that item, and then you have access to that item, or then you know that you've collected that item in the past. The only way to keep track of your collection is to just drop all of it in your party house, which makes the party house useless. The party house is meant to be a house or a place for you to hang out with your friends in a private party. But in Dergun Town, it's literally just a building that you can throw a bunch of junk in to collect. And I don't like that. Collecting should be collecting. You should have access to those items once you collect them. Maybe you have to bring them to a specific location. I'm fine with that. But once it's at that location, I shouldn't have to, save, just drop it in that location and then save that location. It shouldn't have to work like that. It should just be like, I put it there and then I have access to it whenever I want it. Just the collecting is not really collecting, and that just bothers me so much, because that's one of the appeals, at least to me, that Dergun Town has, is that there is a collecting element to it, but it's not really collecting. The second thing on this list is the void. And now this like big void thing on the map it's kind of fun, and it's really, really cool and interesting and everything like that, but it's kind of annoying to go around. Like, it's like extremely annoying to walk around. You basically have to have at least one OC somewhere in your Dergun Town OC list that has wings. You'll have to switch to that OC if you're not using it, and then fly over it if you want to get to the other side, because that's the most efficient way to get around it, because it's so big. This thing is like huge. It is so massive, and it's very annoying to go around. So I think a way to kind of fix this issue is to just give us a bridge, or give us some way to get across it without having to fly over it, because it's just an annoying thing that I have to deal with in Dergun Town whenever I play. Number 3, and this is probably one of the biggest issues for me, probably save for the thing that I'm saving for last, but this right here is probably the biggest issue for me, and that is that way too overwhelming. It is incredibly overwhelming, and it's very, very hard to learn, and it's not very friendly to new players, in the sense that if the first time I went there was so much to learn and so much to figure out that I was just lost. I felt so unmotivated to like learn everything. And honestly, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. If I wasn't playing Dergun Town for a YouTube video, I would not have spent that much time trying to learn everything. I wouldn't have spent that much time trying to figure everything out, because it's literally so much. It's overwhelming, especially to new players. And it just gets worse and worse and worse as time goes on, because they keep adding more and more things. It's so much. I think they need to, give us a better way to kind of access this information. On their website, in the About tab, they can put in information like, okay, these are keystones, these are what they do, this is what that's about, yada yada yada. They have a lore section or something like that in their website, but they need to just have it so that if you can go to homepage, and maybe even on the homepage it just tells you a little bit about some information that's going on. Maybe tells you a little about the NPCs. There's no information about the game unless I'm in the Discord server. Unless I'm in the Discord server, server, I have no idea what this game has to offer. I have no idea what's going on in the game, and I have to, find random people and ask a bunch of random people different questions and stuff like that, and trying to figure things out on my own. And it can be fun to learn things on your own, but some things should just be given to you information wise, like the NPCs. That should just be something that you tell us about, instead of just being like, oh, get in there and then just randomly find an NPC, have no idea it's an NPC at first, and then find out it's an NPC, and then figure out that it gives you quests, and then try to figure out how to complete those quests. There should be something on there that at least tells you about the OCs and at least tells you about the keystones, because the keystones, especially, once you use that keystone, you're locked into that element forever. You cannot change it ever again, forever. It's impossible to change. So they should tell you about each individual element in the game, somewhere in the About tab or somewhere else. They should tell you about the elements, what you get with what you get with each element, and that sort of thing, because that would help a lot with this issue where it's just too much to learn and it's too overwhelming, especially for new players. Number 4 here is the clear house command. The clear house command doesn't work for the party house inside of Dergun Town, as well as some other commands and stuff like that. The building overall just isn't that easy, really. There's no shortcuts to move objects. There's no shortcuts to undo/redo. There's just so many elements that Ponytown does in their building that is so perfect and so intuitive that when I moved to Dergun Town and started playing Dergun Town a little bit, I was so frustrated with the building. I couldn't do it. It was so annoying because I place an object and I'm like, oh no, I don't want that there. And then I have to switch all the way to the broom tool, delete that object I just placed, and then switch all the way back to my hammer, and then try and replace it. And then that just keeps going back and forth where I accidentally misplace something, then I have to remove it, and I can't just press a single button to redo that or undo that. And there's no way to like hold shift or whatever and then like move an object or clone an object very easily. You have to use the tools as they're intended. There's no shortcuts for anything, and I think that Dergun Town needs to kind of look at Ponytown and be like, Ponytown, their building is very easy, it's very intuitive. Let's copy some of those elements over into our custom server, and incorporate those. Allow our users to play the party house, use the party house better. But honestly, they're probably not too worried about people like building very easily in the party house, because, well, the party house is just a storage room for collectibles now, so they're probably not worried about that at all. But if they're not, I just if they're listening, if the developers are listening, I hope they do, because these are mostly critiques and things that I hope that get fixed. But please incorporate some of the Ponytown building elements into this. Allow us to have these shortcuts and stuff like that. Please, just please. So number 5 is the quests take way too long to complete, or are just annoying or near impossible. And they're just difficult. Like the quest I got in my Dergun Town video, when I went back to Dergun Town, I was in the video and I got a quest from an NPC to get 3 pairs. My quest was get 3 pairs. I didn't see a single pair until recently. I have not seen a single pair on the entire Dergun Town map until recently. And I actually ended up abandoning the quest, and then I found the pair. It took me days. It took me several days. It took me weeks, actually, to find a single pair, and by that time I had already abandoned the quest because it felt impossible. And maybe I'm an idiot for that. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I just didn't know how to do it. But it's something that I hate, is that the quests seem to take too long, or just in some cases are impossible, even when it's just to get 3 pairs. Number 6 here, and this is the last one I have, which, to be honest, if I kept thinking about it, I could probably make a list twice as long. But right now we're going to talk about this last one here, this 6th one here. And that is, there's so many bugs. There is so many bugs, so many glitches, and so many things that just make the game almost impossible to play. And you would think that when they're updating the game this much, and this is an issue I have too, where they update the game so frequently, they update the game so much that it's hard to keep track of. Even if I knew everything that there was about Dergun Town, if I left for 2 weeks and then came back, I would have to relearn a lot of stuff and learn new stuff on top of that, because they update the game so often and include so many new elements and everything like that, not elements, but they introduce so many new items and different things, new events and stuff like that all the time, and it makes it very hard to keep track of. So you have the game updating all the time, and on top of that, the bugs just keep piling on and piling on. There's so many bugs and glitches and different things like that. Fix your bugs, like fix these issues, because right now, the last like 5 times I tried to play the game, I just couldn't play it because the game was just crashing over and over and over again because there's just so many bugs, and it's just making the game impossible to play. And I just think that if you're updating the game this much, you think there would be, more focus on the bugs themselves, but no, they're not focusing on the bugs. They're focusing on adding the next new thing, adding the next new thing. People give Ponytown flack a lot because, oh, it takes forever to get any kind of feature or anything like that. But at least when that feature gets there, the feature works. With Dergun Town, yes, the feature more or less works, but there's so many bugs that they just ignore and ignore and ignore, and the bugs just get worse and worse because as they introduce new, mechanics, new systems, new whatever, that adds a new bug, and that bug might mess up the next bug, or it might, it just makes the game worse. So my thing is, you cool down on the updates. This is my message to the developers of Dergun Town. Just cool it on the updates. Focus all of your attention in these bugs and these glitches that are ruining the experience. All these other bugs, all these other issues, take them and put all your focus in those bugs, try to fix them, and then when you do, release the next update, and it just be a complete, a patch, basically, that just fixes all of these bugs and all of these glitches and all these issues, and then after that, focus on the next big thing, instead of, just focusing on the next big thing and focusing on the next big thing. Please fix the bugs, fix the small things that make the game actually work, because right now the game isn't even working that much for me. I think this is probably the first time I've been able to play it normally in a while, so please fix your bugs. That's my number one message. And anyway, that's gonna do it for the video. I think please like, subscribe, share, do those wonderful things, because when you do those wonderful things, you get access to wonderful content such as this. But that's not all you get. You also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful. Literally trying to leave, and it will not let me leave. Like, I'm literally like walking against it, and it will not let me leave. I'm stuck inside this castle now. This is another bug that I've been experiencing forever. I'm stuck. Finally.